Yo, what's up, droners? B here, and we're doing another edition of Droner News. There's a guy who's building drones that detect mines who also is a kid in India. We have like paper drones and all kind of crazy stuff because drones are awesome, so let's jump into it. All right, coming in at number one, we have the USA and DARPA coming together to make recyclable, or I should say disposable drones. They're made out of cardboard, not paper specifically. And the only part on them that's not paper is a little tiny bit of electronics. But it's pretty cool because they want to use these to develop, it's pretty cool because they want to use these to be able to deliver medical supplies to areas that don't have access to them. This actually came from a military development where the military was developing drones that can fly and survey over enemy areas, and still, like, if it went down, the enemy wouldn't be able to use it. And use any parts from it basically to make drones for themselves, so it would decompose. And that's what these drones do. Like, after a couple days they decompose, they're mostly made out of cardboard, and they deliver medical supplies. They're really cool. They're fixed-wing drones. They look sturdy. Looks like they'll fly. They'll get to where they're going. They're supposed to come, like, be dropped out of planes, it looks like, and be able to just get to their location, stop. The people take stuff out of them, and they can just bury them or just leave them there, and they'll decompose. Pretty cool. Number two, in India, there is a 14-year-old young man who built a mine-detecting drone. And his drone build was so good, or his engineering was so good, that the government of India bought the plans for him from over $700,000. Yeah, this kid's awesome. His name is Harshwardhan Zala. Sorry if I messed that up, bro. But he did it last year. He developed it, and it pretty much uses infrared to fly over the mines, detect them, and then also uses a remote detonation system to be able to get rid of them. And it seems that his way of doing this was more effective than the Indians' military, and they're having a real problem with landmines. And so they said, well, fine, if you got the better solution, we'll buy it from you and we'll implement it. And so, yeah, this kid got paid, and now he's using that to start his own business, to start kind of other stuff, and probably ball out, because that's what I would do. Coming in at number three, Virginia Tech, which has been mentioned before on Droner News because they do all kind of really cool stuff, is doing a new kind of research to determine, like, the bodily harm that a drone can do to you. And this is absolutely hilarious to me because how do you figure out what kind of bodily harm a drone could do to you? Oh, I know. Let's get some dummies, dummies like of people, and then fly drones into their faces and then into their bodies at full speed. And they're doing this to be able to test, like, what can drones do and how can drones be safer? You know, like, what can we do to make it so that a drone is safer? They're dropping them on heads. They're, like, doing all kind of stuff. And I believe that this could be the first step towards allowing the FAA to be able to make regulations or certain kind of drones able to fly over people's heads, because we know that it only do so much damage to them if it falls on them, or at full speed it only can do this much harm to them or whatever. But we don't really know what the extent of, like, what a drone can actually do to somebody if it runs into them and falls on them, because it hasn't really happened like that, or at least it hasn't been documented. So that's what Virginia Tech's doing. They're checking it out. Hopefully this ends up being safer drones for everybody, and less stringent regulations on drone pilots like myself, and hopefully you guys. All right, coming in at number four, DJI, which I like to talk about a lot, has officially stopped their production of the Phantom 4. I believe I mentioned it on a previous Droner News, is that they had actually stopped their production on the Phantom 3. They stopped all production on Phantom 3s. Now they've stopped it on the Phantom 4. They still are obviously producing the Phantom 4 Professional. They just came out with it. But this is kind of signaling a move by DJI. So this kind of signals that DJI and their partnership with Apple is really taking a lot of pages out of their book. They're pretty much taking out all their lower costing drones and making only their top line products what you can buy. At the moment, the cheapest drone you can buy from DJI is the Mavic, which is $1,000 minimum. You know, literally all they have is the Mavic, the Phantom 4 Pro, and the Inspire series. And, you know, that's all incredibly expensive. And before, you know, a few months ago, you could actually buy the Phantom 3 Professional for, you know, $300, $400, and even refurbished for under $300. So it seems that they're either about to release something new again, or something cheaper, or they're just going for higher end drone usage, and that's just what they're gonna do. And coming in last, but definitely least, we have a pilot in China who's 23 years old. He got arrested for flying too close to an airplane. Now, of course, you're like, well, how did he get caught doing that? You know, like, oh man, the pilot saw him and pointed him out, and the police came over and got him. Like, no, that is not how it occurred at all. This guy was over there flying, trying to get a sunset shot apparently, and he's like, oh look, there's a jet flying right next to my drone. What should I do? Obviously, the people who have been listening to what we've been talking about would say, I should land and get out of here because this is not where I should be flying, obviously. He did the opposite. He's like, oh, this will be a great shot. Turns the drone camera towards the jet and flies the drone towards the jet and gets a shot. So obviously that's a horrible idea of what he should have been doing, what he was doing anyway. And then he took it a step further, saying, let me get home and post my video online. And he's also in China, which is also the most regulated internet on the planet. So they knew exactly who he was, when he posted it, where he posted it, and all that. So like literally the next day, brother got arrested. And yeah, he's awaiting trial right now, and he could face up to 10 years and a fine that could be up to $17,000 in prison. So let that be a lesson to you. I probably just wouldn't fly in China at all, unless I'm like completely certified and permitted. But yeah, stay away from planes. Droners, thank you for sticking through with this episode of Droner News. That was awesome. And if you want to see our Droner intro video, it's right here. Or if you want to see more Droner News videos, you can click right here. And if you want to support us, you can go ahead, subscribe, or check out our Patreon link below. And as always, make sure you stay fly.